ठीक है, मैं बताता हूँ. अच्छा जी, I hope everyone has read it, but still I am going to explain it so that you won't get any confused idea. I want everyone to be on the same page. Okay. Defining waiting for service. So you see, you are about to define waiting for service. ठीक है. So what literature is going to literate you about the specific topic. You see, waiting for service refers to the time between the point a customer is ready to receive a service and the point the service starts. ठीक है. This is the definition, and that definition given by the Taylor 1994. As I mentioned before, that the latest literature which is essential. If there is an essential literature, then you can go beyond the 2 years. ठीक है. So you see 1994. You can go 1884 as well, because you are going to define the particular term. A customer may have to wait before, during, or after transaction. In other words, there are 3 kind of waits: pre-process, in-process, post-process. And this sentence, this categories defined by the 2 papers, and these papers are written by multiple authors in 1888 or 2008. We move on to make these different kinds of weights more concrete. Imagine you are flying with an airline from point A to B. You may have to wait before you can board the plane, a pre-process wait. So over here you see it is explaining it without citation. Yes, it is only explaining it. The researcher can explain what we learned. Researcher can explain, because you might be thinking that if we cannot write any single sentence, then how come this sentence is here? It is basically explaining the same concept introduced by the multiple papers. Since the research questions of your study serve as the starting point for your critical review of the literature, some of the functions of critical literature review depend on the type of the study and the specific research approach. So in the next box we are going to discuss different research approaches, what we do in the different research approaches, what we learn from in different research approaches. So specific functions of a literature review. Over here you see descriptive study. Another is the exploratory study. Another is, so you see different kind of studies are going on. In the different kind of study, you are learning different things. So in this box you are learning multiple point of view of learning. Emma is involved in descriptive, George is involved in exploratory, and Jim is Jim's applied study is deductive in nature. Second review of the literature has allowed him to develop a theoretical background. So use this second review. We use the word second review. I will be, while taking your quiz, I will be using the word second review. Second review means first review is at problem statement. The second review is at literature review. So this is it. Second review. A second review of the literature has allowed him to develop a theoretical background. Theoretical background is what? That there is a theory about the problem solving, about the idea of solution of any problem. So that is why we talked about the theoretical background. So this has helped him to obtain a clear idea to what variables will be important to consider in the theoretical framework. So you see, in every theoretical framework there are variables. There are, for example, I will give you an example of a theory. Theory of planned behavior. Theory of Theory of planned behavior. Planned behavior. Okay, what do we do in the theory of planned behavior? There are multiple variables, okay, and they are leading to a particular intention, and this is leading to a behavior. So first you see there is a social norm. First variable is a social norm. Second is second is the perceived behavior control. Perceived behavior control. Third one is ethics. No. Social norm, perceived behavior control. Attitude. Okay, so there are three variables which are leading to the intention, and that intention is leading to behavior. So you see there are multiple variables given by the theory of planned behavior. So this is the same idea by the James. James is basically learning what is the theoretical background to solve any problem. So he found this theory, and he is looking at his own variables in the same manner. For example, perceived behavior control, he can use the perceived risk. He can use the variable perceived risk. So perceived risk can be used instead of the behavioral control. Okay, so you learn that how the problems are solved with the different theories. So this is the concept. Any questions so far in this? What we have learned? We have learned that there is a theory in every deductive reasoning, okay? And one of the theory is theory of planned behavior. And what we have learned? We have learned that how intention is developed, how the behavior is developed.
This theory is of
Deductive reasoning. Every theory you use as a variable identification, as a problem solving, so that is the deductive reasoning. See, every research has a theory. Inductive reasoning has also starts with a theory, but not on the same framework. This is the framework we are talking about. So deductive reasoning is with the framework. And for example, these three variables are leading to here, and this is leading to here. So this is the example of the deductive reasoning. So we will go by the theory. And we make our reasons on the conclusion of this. Every human is mortal. So Hamza is human. Therefore he is same way. Social norm, perceived behavior, attitude leads to intention. Intention leads to behavior. So anyone who is having these three variables would be leading to this intention. Got it? So that's how we deduce our results. So what we have learned from these from the box number 2, from this box, what we have learned? Anyone who will summarize for us? So over here you say Emma is involved in a descriptive study that aims to describe how a major player in the pharmaceutical industry delivers valuable product to the market. Okay, descriptive study is one of these study in which you understand a bit more. A critical review of the literature should help her to come up with a comprehensive overview of the relevant perspective of value, guiding definition of value, and in-depth overview of frameworks, instruments, and analytical tools like a Michael Porter's chain that will help her to describe the organization, can create value and comparative advantage. So basically when you go for the descriptive study, You require this kind of information, and with the literature you can get all this. Okay? So Michael Porter के through, basically Michael Porter idea helped her in solving a problem. This is one of the ideas. When you read the literature, what you get? You get the Michael Porter and the other theories that can help you. Okay? Second is George's fundamental research project is inductive and exploratory in nature. A review of the literature has helped him to develop a theoretical background which provides an overview of the literature pertinent to this specific topic he is studying. Now you see, this is about inductive and this is talking about theory as well. So it does not mean that inductive reasoning has no theory. In that I gave you an example that you observe birds and you at the end you say all birds are white. Did I turn on this? Yes. All birds are white. So in that we did not talk about the general thing, but practically we always start with the theory just to understand the scenario, how people think, how things work in the context, just to understand. But theory, we do not focus on the theory to prove our concepts. We do not focus on the theory to prove our concepts. We do not focus on the framework. We just take an idea and build up from there. Okay? So this is it. So I hope all of the 3 paragraphs are understood, and I recommend you to read them again at home so that you get an idea. See, you cannot understand everything right now. Why? Because I have not taught you many things in this. Methodology has not been taught. Approach has not been taught. For example, descriptive study you do not know. Okay? And framework you might be confused. Instrument you might be confused. So these are the new things for you. Framework is, I just made a framework for you. Okay? Framework is how in the particular context how the things works. It is called framework. The structure. Instrument is tool through which you collect the data, through which you operate something. Instrument is that, like that. Tool. ठीक है जी? So that's it. So these are the things which may hamper your understanding, but still I think when you keep reading it, you will get more idea. Any questions so far? Okay. Let's move ahead. Okay ji, the approaches of literature review. So I already mentioned before, the textbooks, journals is not a journal on which you write. It is the publishing journals. Okay? Publishing journals which publish the articles, research articles. Thesis, you might have known about it. Thesis is basically the detailed research paper kind of thing. Thesis is telling you in detail about the topic, and it is far more detailed than any research paper. There can be multiple research papers out of one thesis, because thesis is very detailed and it is more comprehensive. Okay? So thesis is for the professional study, and mostly it is done by the fundamental research, by the academic research. And journals can be of both, but thesis is for academic research. Conference proceeding, I mentioned it before, but we do not go with the conference proceeding since they are not peer reviewed. So we do not go for that. Okay? You may take it, but that is not recommended. Unpublished manuscript, the manuscript which are not published but to be published, very important, to be published in process. Reports, any reports like State Bank or other reports you can take. Newspapers, authentic only, not every newspaper. and the internet if it has some authentic source. Searching for literature, electronic journal, bibliographic databases, any university databases. These are very important points. Then we will finish our class. Acha, okay. I just about to complete. How do you evaluate a research? For example, how do you evaluate the research? Evaluation is important. If the research is appropriate for you, relevant for you, then only you consider it. So evaluation is very important. If the research question is clear, problem statement is clear, then only research you may proceed to read it further. Is the relevance of the research question made transparent? Does this study build directly upon the previous research? Will the study contribute to the field? Is there a theory that guides the research? And etc. Method and etc. So you read it at home, all this, and these are important for your quiz as well. Sample appropriate. How did they take out the sample? As I already mentioned, you go with the sample. Do you remember? You go with the sample. You cannot afford to take the data from the population. So you go with the sample. And you prefer the probability sampling. You prefer. But sometimes there are constraints. The data is not available. So then you have to go with the non-probability sampling. Anyway, so that is the other discussion. You see the conclusion and the results as well. What is going on? Why?
Mentally सब क्लास से बाहर है.
Achha, okay, read it out. I am not telling you anything. Read it out. It's very comprehensive, and it is telling you that how, when you refer it, what does it mean? This is called in-text citation, as I already mentioned. A reference list, या bibliographic citation. It is showing the page number. When you write verbatim, the same, for example, if you copy paste anyone's words, you have to mention the page number as well. It is allowed to copy paste. It is allowed to copy paste, but with the proper reference. Sometimes it is very, very important copy paste. For example, Qurani ayat. You cannot change them. Nauzubillah. So what you do? You copy paste. So you have no other option. And in other ways, you have a chance of plagiarism, or to some extent. So it is allowed to some extent only. You cannot copy the whole research paper, but a few lines only. So you may read it yourself. I am just showing you. 2 authors, 3 authors, 4 authors. APA citation. ये ethical issues हैं. Plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Achha, there are 2 words. Students say pledge. Bhai, pledge means something else. Sir, pledge कितना है मेरा? Pledge is a promise. Plagiarism. Plagiarism. So it's very नहीं कौन सा short है? ये तो miss short है. Wrong short है भाई ये. This is wrong. This is correct. पहली चीज. Misrepresenting करें information. Misrepresenting of information is unethical. Plagiarism is unethical. You cannot copy anyone's idea. And you cannot copy anyone's idea. You cannot take anyone's idea without mentioning his name. This is unethical. Misrepresentation. It's a crime. Anyone can sue that for you. So plagiarism is why we need to check the plagiarism. Any idea? Why we are concerned about the plagiarism? Yes? Authentic, yes, and
The paper should be based on ethical consideration.
and why do we consider plagiarism? Why we should consider plagiarism? एफर्ट का पता चलता है, लिखा भी है कि नहीं, ठीक है, सही है. Arguments. See, when you plagiarize, you misrepresent, you do not add in the body of knowledge, you do not contribute, but you are referred that Mr. Hamza has written this paper. Actually, Mr. Hamza has not written that paper, copied someone's idea. So that is why it is totally unethical. Whatever I will earn on the basis of that misrepresentation, it will be not appropriate for me. So very important that you do not go with the copying and cheating anyone's idea. Okay, so we are done with this chapter. Today I did not discuss how to find the literature, so it might be in the next class I will be discussing that. In the upcoming class you will be having a quiz. Be ready for that.